everybody, the Beer Leaguer, back again with another Shorts episode where I talk about all the cool random stuff that I found on the interwebs and boil it all down, tell you about it, so you can go find out about it too if you want, or just listen to what I have to say. Starting off with a couple of, I guess, disappointing things, although not super shocking things to talk about. One, Major League Hockey, which was that small kind of startup league that we talked about a couple episodes ago, that they said was going to be starting up in, I think they kind of gave a nebulous like fall or winter of 2024. Sounded like it was sort of a replacement for 3-Ice, which is something that had gone on the last couple of years, and that was more like a travel showcase thing that was happening. But Major League Hockey put out a statement that they are postponing until October of 2025. So that's disappointing if you're looking forward to it like I was. Again, not super shocking. It kind of came out of nowhere, and they said, hey, we've got a bunch of rinks, we've got a bunch of players, we've got coaches, we've got everything. But they didn't tell you anything about it. So not super shocking to it, but still disappointing. I will throw a link to their press release, and also the Hockey Guy on YouTube, who I'm sure everybody knows, did a really great kind of recap of all this stuff. So I'll throw a link to his video as well in the show notes. Another thing that looks like it's not going to happen, or at least not happening anytime soon, is a U-Hawk 2.0. If you recall, and again in a previous episode, talked about U-Hawk coming out with a new camera. U-Hawk UHWK was a helmet-mounted camera made specifically for like hockey and lacrosse, so you could have a helmet cam without having to have like a giant GoPro or GoPro-like camera sit on the top of your helmet that's kind of sat on the front. It was very low profile, not as complicated, not as many options with it as you could with some of these other action cams, but it was really made to just kind of sit there right above your line of sight and really kind of give almost your perspective of the game that was going on. I had a U-Hawk 1.0, the original one. Loved it. Thought it was great. It was an awesome kind of my POV thing to record for games, and the audio you had for it so you could listen to me breathing loudly the whole game because I'm out of breath as soon as I hit the ice. It was awesome, but it was old and the battery just died on it, unfortunately. But they had a thing out that they were going to do a U-Hawk 2.0. The website's gone. It doesn't work anymore. They still have an Instagram page up with it saying that they're going to talk about it, but the actual website isn't around. So I'm thinking that the probably isn't happening, unfortunately. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is I've been doing a couple more review videos over on the YouTube side. Some of them I've carried over into podcast land, but not everything, because some of them it just doesn't really make sense to do audio only versions of them. So I've done a couple reviews. They're generally pretty short reviews of equipment. I have a review out for some socks that I've been using, hockey socks that I really like. I have some other reviews out there. By the time this episode goes out, there should be a review up for something called Enzo, ENZO. They're like little cleaning balls for doing your what should be annual cleaning of your hockey gear. Hopefully at least annual cleaning of your hockey gear. So I'm going to talk about those, tell you if they worked or not. So trying them out. And that review should be out when you hear this episode. Also, another thing that somebody else did that I think is highly, highly anticipated is Hockey Tutorial. If you know that channel, they're one of probably the two biggest hockey channels on YouTube. Dropped a little while ago a Bauer Pro Sharp Advantage versus Sparks video. You all know Sparks. I've talked about the Sparks skate sharpener a bunch, how I love it. Bauer Pro Sharp has a new one out. It's kind of their competitor for it. It's called the Advant Edge skate sharpener. And I know a lot of people are wondering about it, if it's any good, how does it compare to Sparks? And Hockey Tutorial did a super good, super in-depth, it's a 30-minute review, really, of the Advant Edge skate sharpener, but kind of in comparison with the Sparks, because I think people are familiar with the Sparks and kind of the goods and the bads and stuff, everything with it. So highly, highly recommended. If you're all thinking about skate sharpeners, take a look at that. Even if you're not interested in skate sharpeners, just kind of wondering, what's the difference there? What's going on? Definitely recommend going and checking that out as well. And as always, on these shorts episodes, I like to do a social media account to follow. One of these maybe smaller beer league hockey related, at least tangentially, accounts that you should check out because they put out some fun content and more people should, be enjoying it. This one the account is called Beers on Ice, and they have YouTube, they have TikTok, they have Instagram. They're Beers on Ice on all of those things. Again, linked in the show notes and everything, so you can get that. And who these guys are is it's an adult team of, like, mostly, I don't know if they all are, but they're mostly former pros or at least very, very high level semi-pro players. And they play in a league that's actually right near me here in Cleveland, Ohio. They play in a league with other guys of similar level, but they also they travel around and play some other stuff. And I will say they have really picked up their social media presence in the last about 8-9 months. They have videos for all their games. They have they're in a Sunday night league. They have videos for their games. The videos for the games, I think, are some of the most entertaining beer league game videos out there, because it is not just, 60 minutes of a stationary camera sitting there watching dudes that can't play, which is usually what you get. They cut everything down really nicely. It's cut down to pretty short videos, kind of just highlights, but it's also interspersed with them talking. They're mic'd up during the games, a couple of the guys, and they make comments during the games. They talk between periods, and you can hear that stuff. And it's a very, I think, entertaining way to watch beer league hockey. So definitely recommend checking them out. They've been doing they did some roller hockey down in Columbus, Ohio with Nasher at his rink. Talked about that. Really funny. Totally worth checking out. Again, it's Beers on Ice. And, links for all this stuff in the show notes at thebeerleaguer.com, wherever you want it. But go check them out. So I think that's going to wrap it up. And it's going to wrap it up for the shorts episode. Trying to keep it very short. I think that's everything for it. If there's anything that you guys would like me to cover in a regular episode, or even touch on in a shorts episode, drop me a line. Leave me a comment on whatever platform you're listening to. Send an email. You can do that over at thebeerleaguer.com, or also in all the show notes, there's a little thing that you can text the show. You just click the little link, brings up your texting software. If you're on your phone or whatever, brings that up. Just type in your message. If you want to, leave your name or where you're from. I will mention it. If you don't want to, you don't have to do that. Let me know if there's something you want to hear, something you want to hear me talk about, topics to discuss on a regular episode. Like I said, if you have a social media account to follow that you would like to recommend or something like that, feel free to let me know. All right. As always, everybody, thanks for listening. Any kind of likes, subscribes, comments, anything like that, all those help out the show. Greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around. I wanted to let you know that we added the ability to text the show. If you check out any of the show notes for any of the newer episodes, you'll see a link called Text the Show. Just click that and it'll open up your text app of choice. There, you'll see a code automatically inserted into your text message. Please leave that there. That makes sure your message gets routed to the show properly. Add your message and just send it away. We only get to see your area code, so if you want to include your name to be mentioned, make sure you include that in your message. Give show topics you'd like to see, comment on previous episodes, tell us what we missed, or what book, movie, YouTube video we should be checking out. All the messages are seen, and most go into planning what we do next, or get mentioned in a shorts episode, recapping what we missed. Thanks for listening.